Good afternoon, friends. This video on one of the important topic, burning issue. Is there any relevance of GSTR 2A or 2B for availing GST input tax credit? When we look at important provision under section 16 subsection 2, section 42, section 43A of CGST Act. For availing credit, there are 4 conditions to be satisfied under section 16 subsection 2. As a buyer and recipient, you must have a tax invoice copy. You must have received goods and services. Your supplier must have paid taxes. And you as a recipient filing regularly GST return. Having said that, in my humble opinion, there is no relevance of GSTR 2A or 2B for availing GST input tax credit. Let's take an example. If I'm a supplier in Delhi and you all are buyer and recipient in Maharashtra, if while filing my GSTR 1, if I have wrongly furnished GST number of some other party, it will not come into your GSTR 2A. Second, B2B transaction wrongly furnished by supplier as a B2C. Third, these are exemplary example. When I'm supplying from Delhi to Maharashtra, it is interstate IGST. I raise correct invoice, but wrongly I furnished this transaction as a intrastate CGST and Delhi SGST, which portal will not allow and you will not be able to see in your GSTR 2A. Next, as a supplier, I have filed GSTR 3B, paid taxes, but not filed my GSTR 1, hence not going to be auto-populated in your GSTR 2A. These are exemplary example which I am giving it to you. Now, to substantiate my argument, why there is no relevance of GSTR 2A or 2B, argument number 1. Recently, clause number 100 introduced under Finance Bill 2021, and as per this clause, subclause AA got introduced under section 16 subsection 2, subclause AA. After this subclause AA coming in, and as per this subclause, the 5th condition for buyer to avail credit, recipient to avail credit, only when such invoice or debit note furnished by the supplier in a GSTR 1 and communicated to the recipient, meaning thereby जब तक मैं अपना GSTR 1 फाइल नहीं करूंगा तब तक वो आपके 2A में ऑटो पॉपुलेट नहीं होगा. And this is the new subclause yet to be notified. It is not the retrospective one, yet to be notified. So this condition of invoice debit note furnishing in GSTR 1 by the supplier, so as it is coming in GSTR 2A of the recipient, yet to be notified. First point, when this subclause introduced in Finance Bill 2021 not yet notified, how come relevance of GSTR 2A or 2B, which is by way of rule, and rule cannot override the provision of the Act. Second, Rule 36 sub Rule 4, which is creating capping. Initially it was 20% from 9th of October 2019, reduced to 10% from 1st January 2020, reduced to 5% from 1st January 2021. So there will be 5% capping of ITC pertaining to such invoice or debit note which is not furnished or uploaded by the supplier in its GSTR1. So as it is not getting auto-populated in your buyer's GSTR2A. So this rule which has come creating capping on the basis of the amount is not coming in GSTR2A, ultra vires. On theme line that this subclause AA under section 16 subsection 2, which is being announced in Finance Bill 2021 but yet to be notified. So relevance of GSTR2A going to come only when this clause gets notified, whereby supplier going to furnish such invoice and debit note in its GSTR1 and communicating to the recipient and coming in your GSTR2A or 2B. Having said this rule GSTR2A or 2B, to my mind, is also going in contradiction of section 42 and section 43A. Just by introducing GSTR2A or 2B, it is not compulsory, not relevance. And I given the example, what happens supplier wrongly mentioned the GST number, and I'm satisfying all four conditions, having tax invoice, receipt goods and services, supplier has paid the taxes, being recipient I am filing regular return. Am I not entitled to avail credit? B2B transaction shown wrongly as a B2C. What is the fault of recipient? He is satisfying all the conditions. Supplying from Delhi to Maharashtra interstate, invoice raised interstate, taxes are paid interstate, but wrongly furnished as a intrastate. CGST and SGST as against IGST. Whether my buyer, my recipient will not get credit. So I have raised these concerns. Unless this GST return system gets automized, properly automized, and being backed by the provision of the Act, in my humble opinion, relevance of GSTR 2A or 2B for availing GST input tax credit, when you look at the provision and condition under section 16 subsection 2, going contrary. So there is no relevance in my humble opinion. Question comes, department going to litigate the matter. Let it be. Let them litigate the matter. This is unwanted litigation. By way of rule, they have introduced something which is not backed by the provision of the Act. So even government must look into why something which is introduced by way of rule not supported, not backed by the provision of the Act. So unwanted litigation, loss of time, efforts and money for both taxpayer and tax department. Humble request, department, government must look into. And recently, Punjab State Finance Minister has said they want to check the bureaucrat powers of making rules when they look at the GST law. So these kind of comment which is coming out, those who are drafting rules, they must adhere what is the provision in the Act. Humble submission to all of you. You all are learned. You understand the provision. Unless it is as per the law, as per the Act, rule cannot introduce any form, GSTR 2A or 2B, for availing eligible credit, and I'm satisfying all four conditions. Keep tuning. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel for regular update. Write your comments. Thanks for watching. Thank you very much.